Save Point. It is good to have you here today. How are you doing? This is the 15th Save Point, I think. I'm trying to do this regularly, just over small topics. Save Point, of course, is the place where you can just rest a bit, a transitional point before you go to the next part. Whatever you're going to do next, walking, playing games, sleeping. Well, today I want to talk about live streaming a little bit. I have some experience in live streaming because I have live streamed a few years ago, at least 6-7 years ago. I was young, in my early 20s, and I thought, I'm going to take the streaming world by storm. This is going to be my job. It turns out it did not work out so well. It has not ended up being my job. I had a relatively small success compared to probably the majority of people who attempt to live stream. Because here's the thing about live streaming. It's very difficult to get anywhere. Majority of people stay at 0 viewers. They just stream to themselves for years and years, and it's a very small majority that gets a viewership. I was among this minority. I was lucky, but not lucky enough to make it a career. But it was fun while it lasted. So I have some experience in that, and I want kind of like to explain what I think are the good sides of live streaming and of course the bad sides of live streaming. What I think about it. So for those who do not know what live streaming is, well, you see on YouTube there's videos, right? And people record them and edit them and post them, and you can watch them whenever. Well, live streaming is videos, but directly projected to you, where you can see what's going on in real time, and you can talk and communicate to the person behind the camera. This is live streaming. A direct interaction, a live broadcast. Now, people do live streamings for everything from cooking to just talking to their community, to playing games and have people watch with or play with said games. And it's very, very popular these days. It kind of took over Let's Plays, which were just videos of playing video games in segmented parts. Now live streaming kind of took this over. People use, the majority at least, OBS Studio, Open Broadcast Studio. Now this is probably the most popular application you can use on Windows, probably Linux and maybe Mac. I'm not sure if there's a Mac version of it, but it's a very good open source piece of software, very easy to use. You can go simple or complex. I chose to go the relatively intermediate route of selecting a more advanced setting and tweaking it to my liking, which is why I would hate it if suddenly I lost everything, because I would pull my hair out trying to figure things out again. I probably should take photos of my settings or export them again to make sure. But very cool, like in this software, at least OBS Studio, you can put different sources, which are the pictures you want to project in your live feed. You can put them on top of each other, but nice graphics. There's plugins that allow for advanced interactions with your streams, like some bars that fill if you're on Twitch and get subscribers, for example. There's lots of different services that are quite that make use of these. Like I think Stream Elements, is still a popular one. There was one other, but I don't recall it yet. But OBS Studio, you can use it for everything. Recording, live streaming. I use it to record actually. Right now I'm using OBS. It replaced every other piece of software that existed in the past, like OpenClaw I think was one, or Fraps was a really popular one in the early Minecraft Let's Play days, I think. I used both of them, but now I'm using OBS because it's just superior. No, there's absolutely no competition there. So, like, okay, you live stream, but what do you live stream on? Well, you have Twitch. For example, Twitch is probably the most popular streaming platform. It has existed for quite a long time. It's what do you think about when you think about live streaming? The purple color scheme, the fact that you can have custom emotes, the points that viewers can redeem some things to happen on stream that you can set. They earn points by being in the chat and then can purchase some bonus content per se with set points. There's lots of things you can do. It's a bit of a gamified platform. You get levels, I think. It's been some time since I was on Twitch, so I don't recall that much, but they want you to treat it as a game. You always need to strive towards getting a bigger followership, a bigger viewership. But Twitch always had this problem of not being a good platform to be discovered. And in general, I'll come to it later, nowadays I would feel very keeping on that platform, very insecure. And then next year I'm on YouTube. YouTube is probably for me the better platform to look for a long-term content production. If you have a YouTube channel, I think it's only natural you stream on YouTube as well. Because the two, you have your channel, but the two categories of video published and broadcasted are in separate tabs, so it's very clean. And frankly, it's a pretty good experience. I think you can stream at higher resolutions on YouTube than you can Twitch, more easily at least. YouTube has good live streaming tools. It's very nice, I think. You put a custom thumbnail and all this. If I was to live stream again, definitely on YouTube, not on Twitch anymore. But so that's a bit like, what is live streaming? Like where you can live stream, how you can live stream. What are the good aspects for me of live streaming? I'll tell you in a second. First of all, I think you can develop a pretty good community. If you manage to accomplish some growth of your channel, then you will get people that follow you, that cheer on for you, that want to help you, that are there to share a good moment with you. And I think that's the biggest part of live streaming. It's, the direct interactions that you can have with your chat. They talk to you, you talk back to them, and you kind of create a relationship that way. Well, that's something that I will mention in the bad points when it can get too far, for example. But so viewers can get to see your live reaction, right? And they can participate in the hype. If there's an awesome moment happening, people in chat will go crazy. It will messages of praise, of surprise. It's a great moment. It's live reactions are something precious to see, and I think it's part of why people enjoy looking at live streams, especially of games that are very story-based, where there's plot twists. That's what I think, at least. So you can develop a good community, see live reactions, have direct interactions with your chat. And for people that are on YouTube, you don't have to upload the content separately since you're already broadcasting it to the platform. This way you can save on time by not having to upload it. Well, the videos will not be edited. Well, you can use the YouTube editor to maybe cut the beginning and end, make it, a bit tighter and such. That way you can use, even cut some parts in the content that are not very exciting. You can still do that in the YouTube studio, but otherwise, I think that's a great advantage, honestly, of doing it this way. especially if you just want to record video games and don't want to edit. That's actually probably the most efficient way to do it. You can even live stream without a chat if you don't want this, if you don't want interaction, but just have the content uploaded directly to YouTube as you play. That's a way to do it, I think. So now we'll come to a few bad aspects, I think, of live streaming. If you play games, especially games that have a story or puzzles, watch out for the backseating. There's plenty of people that will just want you to spoil stuff, tell you plot points, spoil some twists, solve puzzles for you, tell you what to do, and occasionally get angry at you if you don't follow what they're asking of you. That happened to me. That's a very bad point, I think. I hate backseating. And you can make a rule, of course. You should probably have a rule in your community of things that you can and can't do. I think backseating should probably be a don't do or ban, or mute. So in a way, that's a bad point. And if it happens, you can mute, but it would have happened already, so the muting afterwards will work for future spoilers, but the one who just got spoiled will have been spoiled, and that is not very nice, I think. Next, you have to deal with some technical failures. Sometimes you're using a piece of equipment, and what if everything breaks suddenly? If your camera is not connecting somehow, or like your encoder is overloaded, or your stream is lagging, or very blurry. You have to tweak with everything, maybe take a break, it's stressful. You will have, sooner or later, have to deal with technical failures. It's part of the process, and you can learn to enjoy it, but it's never pleasant when it does happen, especially in the middle of a broadcast, especially when you can't pause the game. If you're playing a game that doesn't have a pause function, you're screwed. Another one I would say would be, sometimes it happens that there's some creeps that just come and give you a bad time. It happened to me once, actually. Okay. The thing is, I used to dress up pretty because I enjoyed it, which actually, at one point, attracted someone who wanted to buy me some latex gloves in order to satisfy their sexual fetish, which I obviously did not want to do, and that happens a lot, especially for women. Unfortunately, women, female streamers, are more often than not sexualized, by horny Redditors. Twitch is a platform, for example, that is predominantly male-focused, and generally around the age of teenage to young adults, and the hormones are all over the place. They will want some booty. Unfortunately, you can feel quite insecure if you're a woman, which I feel very sorry for. I got a taste of this because I looked quite androgynous back then, so some people still wanted my booty. So that's another part of having to deal with creeps on a live format, because it's live, they can interact with you, and there are some cases of stalkers, actually, which are never fun at all. But you can ban, you can mute, of course. Making use of the moderation tools can help with these these issues, but they will still arise sometimes because these systems are not perfect. You need a good moderation team, but if you're solo, it can get pretty scary. With a team of people that want to protect you and moderate your chat, it can get better. It's better. You feel more secure. That way you can focus on the content. But if you're a single streamer, it's a lot more difficult because you have to manage everything, which is not pleasant at all. The grind for growth. People will often mention about live streaming, the grind. I need to live stream all the time, I need to stream hours upon hours, grind for this viewership. I'll tell you right now, it's not working. You need to somehow bring your viewership from another place like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, because discovery on Twitch was non-existent. I do not know if this is better nowadays, but it was really non-existent back then. I streamed for 2 years and I was around 10 viewers, less most of the time. One time 20, around 20. But that was because I had some connection to other people. I tried to connect to other streamers in all days. But yeah, you need, because that's the thing, the content is never evergreen if you live stream, right? Unlike YouTube videos, for example, where you can go back and easily watch. Live streams are a lot more. You need to be there. If you're not streaming, people are not going to discover you unless you're doing YouTube stuff on the side. So that's a very bad point. There's very little promise of growth, unlike making edited published videos, which I think is the preferable way. I think live streaming should be an accompaniment, it should be supplementary to making other content, because living off live streaming alone, even if there are some exceptions, is an extremely hard thing. If making YouTube videos is already something that is on the verge of impossibility as a growth factor for most people, and most channels are going to remain unknown, live streaming is this times 100, I think. And if you're going to live stream per se on Twitch, something that made me quit the whole live streaming on Twitch has been the insecurity of the platform. Unfortunately, Twitch has not felt very safe. There has been a lot of controversies of bad people doing bad things, bad behaviors not being punished, favoritism, and just in short, the possibility of the platform shutting down. Or you could feel it even years ago that the platform may not have a future. That drove me off the website and off live streaming too. It didn't feel good. It felt like, I wanted to build a career on Twitch. And then it's like a rug pull. Everything you worked for gone. That's part of why I would stream on YouTube nowadays too, because I wouldn't want everything to simply be gone. So yeah, that was my little points about what I think about live streaming, the good point, bad points. I will admit, I live streamed, I liked to live stream, and I might do it again in the future. I can think about if I have SAVEPOINT as these videos where I just talk, what if I have Checkpoint as the streamed variant, subspecies of my content? If I do some cozy games, not horror games, cozy games, and have it as a checkpoint. That could be a possibility, but I'm not going to do it yet. I would need to grow a substantial potential follower base first before I consider it. So we'll see in the future. We'll see. Right now my content is not reaching many people. It's not viral, it's not popular, which is fine. It's not what I'm aiming for. If I wanted to do the popular thing, I would go everything else, hot videos do get popular. Make them give a good hook, a storyline, a good idea. This is the spot between the crevices in the pavement, between the tiles. It's a small alleyway, pretty cozy, but not a stop. Or maybe it's a stop for some people, I don't know. But yeah, what do you think about live streaming? Have you tried to live stream in the past, and are you actually interested in live streaming? Well, in any case, your progress is saved, so I will see you in the next save point. Alright, cheers.